Peace and light, family. I hope that y'all are happy and whole and well and all that good stuff, abundant and everything like that. I actually received a request to do a video on crystals. Y'all know I love me some crystals, some stones, and all that good stuff. I pointed to my ears because I got some crystals in my second hole right now. But y'all know I love me some crystals. And a lot of people who are not aware of crystals, they just see them and they like, oh, what's them little colorful rocks? I actually had a guy in Harlem say that to me. He was like, it's this brother that's on the corner. He be making money selling these little colorful rocks. I think I'm gonna get me some. I was like, you mean crystals? But crystals are not just colorful rocks. They actually have a lot of healing properties and are great for energy exchange and all that good stuff. So my intention for this video is to explain exactly what crystals are, what differentiates crystals from regular rocks and stones, and share my top 10 crystals that I think everyone should own, and they're easily accessible and easily to understand for beginners. Okay, if you're just getting into crystals, these are the top 10 crystals you need to go and get. Let's get into it. So what differentiates crystals from regular rocks is that crystals contain atoms that are arranged in a unique and definite pattern. Also, crystals contain dark and light, and this is where the spiritual side or spiritual significance come in. So they are said to contain both darkness and light, the yin and the yang, the positive and the negative, which gives them a lot of healing properties, and they hold a lot of definite energy. Because we are also made up of energy, it is believed that we have the power to exchange energy with these crystals that hold this beautiful, definite, arranged pattern of energy. Crystals are all around us. They're not just hanging around our neck or on our fingers as jewelry. Sometimes we are walking on crystals and don't even know it because we have not trained our eyes to readily recognize them. Crystals can be used to build things. People have like kitchens that have quartz counters and all that. That's a goal. That's a goal, you know? And regardless of where you find the crystal or how it is being used, whether if it's a countertop or a piece of jewelry, these crystals hold energy that can be exchanged with the human body. Now, the type of energy that crystal holds simply depends on the type of crystal that it is. Some crystals are for protection, some crystals are for love, some crystals are for clarity. Different crystals have different energies, mean different things, and bring different magical powers. Now, don't get me wrong, some people think that all of this is just a placebo effect and it's all in our mind, which they could be right, but whatever works for us works for us. What works for you, and they need to mind their business. Now, one thing I don't do is debate with anybody about what works for me and my wellness. I am willing to receive some resources, and I'm also willing to share some resources. And one thing that I will remind them is that crystals have been discussed across a lot of historical texts. One of my favorite novels, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, the young boy receives 2 stones that he gets clarity from, and they help him answer questions. Those are crystals. A lot of the emperors and empresses adorned crystals. A lot of the kings and queens of Kemet adorned crystals. A lot of the kings and queens and chiefs in Africa adorned crystals and gold. Crystals have always been a part of our history, so whether it's a placebo or they actually work and are truly healing, regardless, they're here to stay. Now, how do I use crystals? I personally keep crystals on me or around me all the time. I have them in my purse. I wear them as jewelry. I put them in my pillows. Like I sew them in my pillows. I have some in my blanket. So I have like a duvet cover that zips and unzips. I put them in my blanket. They rest in the corners of my blanket. I put some in my bra. I have some in my bathroom. They're all over my house. Everywhere I keep some crystals. And anytime I'm feeling anxious or just feeling in need of some grounding, some energy exchange or whatever, I just touch whatever crystal I need that's close to me. I always love to keep some rose quartz on me just to remind me of peace and positivity and love, the intention of love. So sometimes I'll be in conversation with somebody and I'll just like be talking and rubbing my crystal, and it's a habit at this point. I also meditate with my crystals. So when I am meditating or I feel the need to exchange energy, I will grab the crystal that is associated with the energy that I desire. For example, if I'm needing to ground myself, I'll grab a smoke quartz or a red jasper, and I'll hold that in my hand and I will meditate with it in my hand. Or I will hold it in my hands and meditate like this and just exchange energy with that crystal. And when I'm exchanging energy with that crystal, I'm literally eyes closed and focusing, envisioning myself exchanging energy with this crystal. And as I am saying this, I'm realizing how weird it probably sounds to somebody who knows nothing about crystals. I see why they probably like, these folks is crazy and weird. They over here holding rocks and talking about exchanging energy with some rocks. But it works. It works for me. It works. Okay, so hey. Another way I use crystals is I put them in my spiritual baths. But some crystals you cannot put in water, so be very mindful of that. But I put them in my spiritual baths. I also put them in my plants. I also put some crystals in my water bottle. Again, I put them under my pillows. I travel with them. They go everywhere with me. And don't forget, you want to identify the energy that you desire or the energy that you are seeking to exchange and get the crystal that's associated with it. Always feel free to Google what crystal is good for healing, what crystal is good for grounding, what crystal is good for whatever it is, whatever energy that you want or that you desire. Google and research what crystal is good for that. When shopping for crystals, look for raw, unpolished crystals. I don't even like for my crystals to be sanded down or beat. I say beaten smooth, but some people will put them in like the rock turners. You know, people will put them in like those. I don't know the exact name for it, but they put them in the tumblers, and they'll put them in there with a solution or sometimes just with water, and they let them tumble until they kind of like basically beat up against each other and end up becoming smooth. I'm not a fan of like the smooth, pretty, beautiful crystals unless I'm using them for like decorative purposes. If I'm using them for like I just recently purchased some crystal goddesses that, you know, like goddess sculptures that are made of crystal or things like that. That's when I'll have some smooth ones. But if I'm really, really, really using it for like spiritual purposes, I like my crystals raw, natural, and bumpy and ashy and all that good stuff. I don't need all that polished up pretty stuff. That's just me though. I recommend get you some raw, all natural crystal. You see, this is an amethyst, and this may not look like your typical amethyst that you see because it ain't all polished up and pretty. This amethyst is raw. This rose quartz is raw. You see, it's jagged. It ain't shiny and smooth and all that stuff. Is raw. I like raw, natural crystals. To me, of course, anything raw and natural and not intentionally altered is what works best for me in my spiritual journey. But also, you do you. What works best for you works best for you. If you want the pretty, shiny, tumbled crystals, then get that. You know, and as Tabitha Brown would say, and that's your business. So let me share with you my top 10 crystals that everyone should own and why. Let's get into it. My top 3 are all going to be quartz. I love a good quartz crystal. Quartz are just so beautiful. And for me, they have been the most healing and the most powerful for me. The first one I'm going to recommend is a clear quartz. I believe everyone should own a clear quartz. They're good for clarity, they're good for concentration, and they're also good for focus. The second crystal I'm going to go with is a smoke quartz. Smoke quartz are good for protection and grounding. And of course, my third crystal I'm going to go with is a rose quartz. I love a good rose quartz. It brings in love energy, peace energy, and unity. We all need some good rose quartz energy in our life. Now, my fourth recommendation is going to be black tourmaline. I love black tourmaline. It is a beautiful, beautiful crystal, and it is good for protection. We all need some good protection energy, some good peace energy, and it is also said to attract ancestor energy, which we always need our ancestors present. I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. Get you some black tourmaline. If you can't get your hands on some black tourmaline, get some obsidian, which also shares some of the same properties. My fifth recommendation, and also falls in the quartz family, is my personal favorite stone of all time and my birthstone, an amethyst. I love me some amethyst. It is just such a beautiful, purple, lavendery, sometimes stone. I love it. I love it. It can be as light as lavender and deep violet sometimes. It can also share an array of purples, a rainbow of purples. It is just such a beautiful crystal. And amethyst brings us peace energy. It brings us humility. It brings us a calming energy. I love some good amethyst. Amethyst is a stone that I keep under my pillow. I keep in my purse. I carry some amethyst everywhere with me. And this is actually amethyst that is right here on my finger. Good raw amethyst. I love it. My sixth recommendation is citrine. Citrine is good for concentration. I love a good citrine stone, especially when I am meditating. If I've been struggling with concentrating, my go-to is to grab some citrine and meditate with that first in order to aid in my focus. Citrine, get you some. Now, number 7, this was my favorite stone for a long time next to amethyst. When I was in college, I was obsessed with tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is just so beautiful to me. It's an array of different browns, a deep, deep brown that can almost look black, all the way to like a light brown beige. It glows beautifully. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful crystal. And I think the reason I loved it so much while I was in college is because tiger's eye is a good anxiety reliever. If you have anxiety, you're working through anxiety, get you some tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is also good to carry with you when you are on a journey, especially a long journey or an unfamiliar journey. Carry some tiger's eye with you, trust me. Next, we have some lapis. I love lapis. It's one of my favorites. And I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know if it's lapis or lapis, so I say lapis, okay? I say lapis. It's such a beautiful crystal. I love it. Lapis is really good for the throat chakra. It aids in communication, being able to speak up and speak out. So if you are a person that struggles with communicating, get you some lapis and meditate with that. And you can place it directly on your throat and be able to speak up loud and proud. Green aventurine. Green aventurine. And I don't even know if I'm saying these right, but it's just how I say it. You know what I mean. And I'm going to put the pictures in the name so you get it. Okay, but green aventurine is good for balance and wealth. Balance and wealth. I love green aventurine. When I welcomed that stone into my life, I definitely saw an uptick in abundance, especially financial abundance. So green aventurine, get you some. And this last recommendation is what I call my root chakra stone, red jasper. Red jasper is good for security and grounding. Security and grounding. Get you some red jasper. So overall, there are so many crystals for so many uses. And don't forget, what makes crystals unique is that the atoms are arranged in a definite and unique pattern. It's a pattern. They're not just regular colorful rocks. They are unique, definite patterns, and they hold energy. They hold energy, and the energy is special and it's unique and it's definite. Okay. And they have a pattern of healing, and they have a pattern of exchanging that energy with our being, and we can use them to our benefit. You can put them anywhere you want. You can put them in the corners of your home, on your altar, under your pillow, hang them from the mirror thing in your car. You know what I'm saying? The rear view mirror. You could put them anywhere you want. Ladies, put them in your bra. You know what I'm saying? Take a bath with them. Wherever you desire to place them, place them. And don't forget to follow the energy first. What is the energy that you desire? What is the energy that you are seeking? And find the crystal that is associated with that energy, and that is the crystal for you. Rub on them, meditate with them, hold them, whatever you got to do. Get you some crystals. I hope this video helps, family. Much love, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.